everyone for your time. We are going to be going through lots of information today, so we've tried to make this a real jam-packed 45 minutes that we hope you appreciate and you get great value out of it. Before I go any further, I'll introduce the presenters today. Well, firstly, my name's Adair. I'm the Sales Director of FUJIFILM MicroChannel, and I'm just really emceeing this for the more experts that are online here. And that's going to be Darren from Körber and Pranesh, who is the Practice Manager of our WMS team. A couple of quick just organizational things. Today will be recorded. The primary reason for recording today is so we can send you a link to this recording after. So hopefully you'll get benefit out of that. So if you don't worry about taking too many notes, because you will get a recording of this. And also there is a Q&A button you should see up in your meeting invite. Please feel free to put in questions there. We'll have a bit of time at the end for those questions. In terms of what we have for you today, look, we'll do a very quick overview of FUJIFILM MicroChannel, just so you know who's putting on this particular presentation. But the majority of the time is really going to be getting into the details of what a warehouse management system is, what it does, and also in the context of the WMS system that we specialize in, which is the Körber K-Motion Warehouse Edge. So hopefully that will give you, at the end of this, you will be far more up to date about what a WMS can do for your supply chain and how those benefits and how we implement those benefits. And also you see at the end there, typically how the WMS works with the ERP to give you a visualization and understanding of that. So without any more, let me just quickly give an overview of FUJIFILM MicroChannel. We have been around for a long time. We're an Australian family company, and FUJIFILM Business Innovations acquired us about 18 months ago, and it has been a wonderful journey so far. Just to give you an understanding of our company and our size, we're a bit over 100 million turnover. We have a lot of customers, right? So we do deal with a lot of scenarios, business scenarios, and obviously many businesses that require WMS. Just so you get an understanding of our size, we're about 320 employees at the moment. Our head office is in Sydney, where I'm talking to you from, but Melbourne, Brisbane, Auckland, Thailand, we also have offices there, and Pranesh is down in our Melbourne office, who you'll get to meet shortly. But primarily what we do, we implement digital transformation. So the major things that we do are the implementation and support and the ongoing enhancements. But we have a dedicated account management team. We've got a client care team that makes sure our customers are happy. We're always putting on webinars such as this one to make sure people are understanding what technology can do for them and how they can increase the benefit of their technology. But focusing more on today, we have been specializing in this application, this WMS application that we'll be highlighting today for a long time, nearly 20 years, and we've got 45 customers using this system. We, as an overall company, we're most known for our ERP, so the overall looking after the business applications of our customers. And then obviously those that are import distributions or have large delivery centers or distribution centers sometimes need a best of breed system like we're going to be highlighting today. I guess a slide with that, just mentioning some of our customers. Look, some of our customers you should know, such as Catch of the Day or Beacons Lighting, World and Oriental Merchant. We are going to be touching on those and what we've been doing for them. But I hope that's a good quick introduction to us that isn't as important as Darren. Please take over from Körber to give you an understanding of the Körber organization and the specialty that they have in warehouse management systems. Darren, thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Adair, for the intro. So just briefly, who is Körber? Körber is a German company who has 4 main divisions, of which supply chain systems is part of it. And within that, we have supply chain software, which is the bit that I work in, which has about 2,000 employees globally. We have sponsored for the last 40 years, a little fun fact, the Körber Prize, which if you go Google that, is a pretty good lead indicator of somebody who might end up being a Nobel Prize winner. So we're pretty into the science and technology and developing that for all good uses of that within society. Where do we operate? We operate kind of globally. All the blue coloured areas are where all of our customers are. We have offices in Australia, in Sydney and Melbourne, in Auckland and in region, and we are somewhat spread all over the world. My responsibility is for the APAC part of it, so this third of the world, and we have other parts of the organisation covering North America and Europe and North Africa and the Middle East. And so we have quite a large number of customers. We have over 4,500 sites, and it's quite a large operation. Where did we come from? Körber has come out of, it started out as part of what was called the high jump business, which you might have been familiar with. It was around and still is part of the base of offer that we have. And then over a period of time, we've built up and added in new technologies and new systems into the portfolio. And this part of the world came into it when this office got created, when we got taken over the Cohesio group part of it, and that added in a lot of robotic automation and voice technologies into Körber globally. So it's been a long journey, and the most recent one, we acquired a company called Mercurygate this year, who are specialist transport management systems, and that was added into the portfolio. And so our portfolio has now covering quite a fair footprint on the systems that you would need to fully operate a supply chain. To cover that, you can see we've got an order management system. We cover warehouse design and simulation. We've got some software that you can use to model your operations, and it can give you back a design in a graphical 3D representation of it, and it can animate it to show you what's going on. We have our warehouse management systems portfolios, which is what we're going to be talking about today. We also have control systems. So if you've got systems that require conveyors or automation interfaces, that can be done as well. And we've got a thing called UCS, which bridges the gap between a lot of the warehouse management system capability and what automation in autonomous mobile robotics requires. We have a lot of investment. In fact, we're one of the largest, we are the largest voice implementation in the world in warehouses. We do a lot of autonomous mobile robotic automation. And with the latest acquisition, we've now got that transport management and transport spend optimization. So the portfolio is fairly broad. So it covers everything from the point that an order is available in a system and where do you want to route it to, all the way through to fulfillment and out to the transport management part of it. Körber is positioned, if you're one of the organisations that track what some of these organisations promote, like Gartner, we are in the top right-hand corner of the leaders part of it. And so that puts us in good company with, we share that space with Manhattan, Blue Yonder, and SAP and a few others. And that's been a journey for us to get there. It's been part of the build out the technology, build out the breadth of the organisation and the breadth of tooling that we have and systems that we have, as well as the offer of how we do that with our customers. So it's seen by these organisations like Gartner as being a very capable enterprise-ready position. So what I want to cover today was really, why would you want to digitize your supply chain? What are the key drivers behind it? And I'll start off on the top left here. The number one thing would be to improve inventory accuracy. The majority of our customers are really wanted to understand how do they improve and keep and maintain a level of accuracy in their inventory position. They want to be able to promise to customers delivery, and for that to be able to be done, they really need to have a very good, highly accurate view of it. Other parts of it would be to perhaps reduce shrink. Sometimes there's other processes that cause inaccuracy in picking or inaccuracy somewhere else, and that causes a shrink to be created within their inventory, as well as because when you get more accurate inventory, you can plan better. And so for many of them, that means that they can improve their safety stock position. The next most popular reason would be to improve their productivity. If we talk about, if you position yourself on the floor of a DC, one of the time is spent walking around. And if you can reduce that horizontal travel time, then you can improve the productivity. So if you only have to go around once to pick 6 orders, rather than go around once for each order, or if you have to walk down aisles that you shouldn't have to get to, if you organised it properly, then you can improve the productivity of your pickers. And by doing that, you actually also improve the productivity downstream because it becomes more predictable. And so the ability to manage and improve your performance of your pickers is also one of the key requirements. The next bit is to streamline the order fulfillment. The need for orders to be picked, packed, and shipped correctly. So giving instructions to the team members who are packing goods, picking, and making sure that they're actually doing what was intended. Often we get requests from our customers to provide a level of detail to ensure that what's presented to a customer is exactly what they asked for in the way that presents the customer what it should be, the full customer experience. So if it needs to be packed correctly or wrapped or re-wrapped and put in a box, those sort of instructions can be given and we get it packed correctly. Of course, operational cost is always on someone's agenda, and the key point of reducing cost is getting the accuracy of everything right. If you can improve all your downstream processes, then you're reducing cost because you're not having so many errors occur. And by reducing that and having everything be essentially established up front during the receiving processes and having all the downstream processes be fairly watertight, you can actually remove errors that occur out of the distribution center. And in that way, you can reduce your overall operational cost because you haven't got that time spent on errors. And errors are, for many places, a huge cost, particularly in an e-commerce environment. Be very wary of it, very high levels of errors. And then the next one would be many customers have compliance issues. They want to be able to track what gets picked correctly. They may have some regulatory compliance requirements that mean that they have to capture serial numbers or do batch tracking or something like that to really make sure that they've got what they said they picked is actually what got picked. And then when they're dispatching it, we've got accurate attachments about what the metadata attached to that thing was. So its serial number is its actual serial number because we scanned it on the carton that got picked. And there's a few others where compliance comes into it. There's a big push in some areas to improve the position on where you have got perhaps articles that might have been manufactured in a grey market or manufacturers counterfeiting, and compliance can also go a long way to working out whether this particular customer did receive the authentic product at some point in the recent time, so you can actually track your supply chain that way. And for many customers who are in a position of where they've got a stock room that's got potentially just inventory values in it, what you find in those situations is that there's often a key person somewhere who kind of knows how the whole thing works. And what that does is limit your ability to scale. And so what introducing a WMS does is systemize those processes so that you can scale up and you're not so dependent on key people anymore. And if that person's not there for the day, things grind to a halt or they take much longer. And so you can improve your predictability of performance by having one of these systems in place. The next bit is that for a large number of our customers, they really need to know what's happening. Where are we up to with the processing of orders? And so the ability to provide that visibility into what's occurring within the distribution center and not just have it pop out at the end, but to understand what's happening to it all the way along, and potentially providing that feedback back to customers or our customer's customer about what's going on with their order. That provides that real visibility into the supply chain that many places are looking for. And then lastly, on this page, and the traditional ones, is improving the space utilisation. Many of our customers are looking to right-size storage locations and then lay it out better so that they can reduce time looking for items and picking it. And all of these traditional ones still apply and have applied since WMSs were invented. But today, there are additional reasons. Most places are now looking to see what their resources are doing out on the floor. Where are they spending time? Understanding where time is being spent and having that analytical view of who's doing what, when are they doing it, how long does it take to do these things, and making sure that they've got really good control over it is very important. Safety has come into distribution centres in a huge way, and Australia leads the world in this. And so we are front and centre of making sure that this continues. We've got the ability to manage where items are placed to ensure they're placed in areas where it can maintain the compliance of that racking. And if there's dangerous goods that require separation, we can do the separation of those within the system. Next is in driving team engagement. By using the data that's created in our systems, we can understand what team members are doing, where they're having frustrations, where things are slow, and we can drive a continuous improvement model with our team members to make sure that we grow and we improve over time. And of course, as we improve all the inventory accuracy, we're now improving customer satisfaction. Our customers get increased service levels due to improvements in the available to promise. And by that alone means that we can commit to shipping today or commit to shipping tomorrow. They can have it in their hands the next day or the day after. So it becomes a very predictable way of making sure that we improve our customer satisfaction. And all of this, of course, in our environment, we work in a world where attracting and retaining good people is hard. And so by having good systems and enabling our team members to use those systems competently, we can drive an environment that is a good workplace and they're productive and they feel like they're engaged. So how do you assess where you are at with your supply chain? So the way I would suggest to you is to take on Gartner's complexity framework, and we'll share this in the video so you can have to read the text now. But many of the organisations that I believe we're talking to today would perhaps be what would be called level 1 or level 2. So in level 1, they've got a basic bin tracking or a storage location. Most of their processes are manual or paper-based, and they're working in what I would refer to as post-record. They're doing something and they're recording it somewhere. They're not being directed by a system. Or they are a level 2 one, which has some basic processes. They may have some inventory locations, but their processes are often pick slip based or paper based, not a lot of scanning, don't really have the kind of processes that drive the high integrity inventory values that we're looking for. And so what we're looking to do is to get our people, our customers across to level 3, have the system direct what's going on. And that's the change that occurs when we implement a WMS system. It's to take it from people deciding what to happen to system directed work in a level 3 style. And so our focus today is our SMB market, the Edge product, which covers off organisations who are in that position, looking to change from that level 1, level 2, and implement a WMS to achieve those benefits I was talking about earlier. I'm going to hand over to Pranesh now to talk about WMS Edge.
Körber's warehouse management system, in short WMS for SMB market, is called FairMotion Warehouse Edge. Today, I'll be presenting on the key functions and benefits of this solution. So WMS overview. First, let's look at what the WMS is used for. So inbound of stock. This consists of receiving of goods in the warehouse, typically using an RF scanner. Inventory control. This consists of storage and movements of inventory within the warehouse, including quality control and updating of inventory status at each stage. Outbound, this consists of picking, packing, and shipping the goods. Just at a very high level, that's what the WMS do. We look at the image over here, shows the workflow of a WMS. Purchase orders are generally entered in an ERP system. It gets automatically downloaded to the WMS. Goods are received against the purchase orders. And then we use a process called directed put away to store the goods in the warehouse. Sales orders are again entered in the ERP system, automatically downloads to WMS. WMS has a functionality called allocation. Allocation has lots of smarts built in. You can allocate goods based on priority of the order, based on customer type. Like if it's an A-level customer, you want to allocate it first, or based on expiry of the goods. For example, I want to allocate all the goods that are going to expire in 6 months' time. Or fair share, which allows you to equally distribute limited stock across a range of orders. This functionality called replenishment. Replenishment allows you to replenish the goods from the bulk bin to the pick bin. This can also be done based on minimum maximum of the item, or it could also be done based on the sales order required. There's a stock take facility. We can do a full stock take, or we can do a cycle count. You can reallocate the stock as many times as you type. It supports kitting and bill of material. So a sales order may come with a kit item. The WMS will allow the user to pick the component item. There is a process called waiving. Waiving is a process to release the order for picking. At the same time, it will print all the required labels, whether it's a carton label, shipping label, customer label. And it also does priority. For example, if your freight company, OSPOS is coming at 3 o'clock and DHL is coming at 5 o'clock. So it makes sense to plan the waiving of the OSPOS orders first. So you can use the waiving process to easily manage all those tasks. Then you pick the goods using RF scanners, you pack it and you ship it, and that completes the cycle from inbound to outbound. If the stock has been moved 100 times, the WMS system keeps track of the logs at who did it, what date and time, what action was performed on it. So a very quick overview of the WMS. Now let's look at some of the operational benefits of the WMS. This is in addition to what Darren has already identified. Part of the digitalization process is to use RF scanners in the warehouse. So everything is scanned in and out of the warehouse. If we look at some of the benefits, automated and system-driven receiving. Receiving goods using RF scanners with product barcodes allows users to accurately and efficiently receive incoming shipment, saving time, eliminate any manual data entry, and minimize any human errors. If we look at system-directed put-away and space utilization. Now, directed put-away takes the human thinking out when storing the goods in the warehouse. So WMS functions like directed put-away streamlines warehouse operations by managing random slotting of goods for best space utilization. This means users don't have to manually look for space to place the goods. The system suggests the best location. Other advantage includes guiding the placement of high demand goods to golden zone. So if there are products that are frequently picked, we sell a lot, it makes sense to put them in a golden zone so that could be quickly and easily accessible. Placing similar goods together. For example, if we sell with laptops, we sell the laptop bags a lot. So it makes sense to put those two products together in the nearby bin. All these will help with the warehouse efficiency. Direct put away also allows the users to set certain rules in the warehouse. For example, if there's a dangerous goods that needs to go in a certain area, or there are a freezer item that needs to go in the freezer section. So you can use the directed put away to manage all that process. And this will all improve the space utilization. If we look at well-planned automated sales order processing, WMS allows efficient order fulfillment by providing many built-in functions like order prioritization, order grouping, and order consolidation. So for example, if a customer has 3 orders, it makes sense to consolidate them together and then ship it. Instead of sending 3 shipments, you can ship 1. Optimize pack size picking, right? So it works out the best unit of measure to pick the goods. Also, WMS has system-guided picking that provides the best route to take to pick the products, which increase efficiency and accuracy. Now, say, for example, I've got 100 orders, 100 lines in an order to pick. The WMS system will guide the picker the best pick part to go in the warehouse and pick those orders, taking into account any rules. For example, there are some fragile items and heavy items. So it makes sense to pick the heavy item first and then pick the fragile item, so it doesn't damage the good. You can have all sort of rules set up in the system like that. Smart picking options. WMS provide various advanced picking options like cluster picking, batch picking, zone picking. Warehouse users can use combination of these picking methods to achieve maximum efficiency for order fulfillment. let's look at enhanced visibility and traceability. Using various built-in reports, there's about 90 built-in reports which are designed in SSRS and about 50 KPIs. And dashboards, users will be able to have valuable insight through using reporting on key metrics like order accuracy, inventory turnover, on-time delivery, and user performance. So there's lots of KPIs in the system that we can run and measure all the goods that are being delivered on time, or even user performance. So there's labor standards you can maintain in the system, and you can compare against that. So for example, if I have a labor standard of X amount of product to be picked within every hour, so you can easily have KPIs or dashboards to measure those. These insights enable better forecasting, planning, and decision making. If we look at traceability, WMS systems record every warehouse action and provides end-to-end operational traceability. Automated integration with other systems. Now, WMS has an integration layer that easily allows us to integrate with other systems like ERP, e-commerce, freight system, EDI, many more. And all these will eliminate any double entry and increase efficiency. In this slide, we are able to see key WMS functions that's available out of the box with Warehouse Edge. And just highlighting some of them, it's got a whole PO receiving, container receiving, all types of inventory tracking with the serial tracking, expiry dates, license plating. In inventory allocation, we are able to allocate inventory by first in, first out, or first expire, first out, or last expire, first out, last expiry, first out, pick to optimal pack sizes, lots of different picking methods, batch picking, cluster picking, zone picking, district picking. With the cartonization, it can suggest the user what is the best carton sizes to use when you go and fulfill the order, pick the order. There's quality control, and there's some additional modules as well. Now, as you can see, it's a pretty comprehensive solution. Let's sort of take a deeper dive on cross-docking and wave picking, two of these features. Now, cross-docking. Cross-docking is a logistics strategy where products are directly transferred from inbound to outbound transportation with minimum or no storage in between. So if we look at the image over here, we've got goods receiving. Now, generally what happens when you receive the good, you put it away and you store it and you later on go pick the goods. With cross-docking, when you receive the goods, it prompts the user straight away, there's some sales orders waiting for it. So instead of storing the goods, let's move it to the cross-dock or the ship location, right? And that's from there you can ship the goods. Now this will have the following benefits: faster order fulfillment, reduce storage and handling cost, improve shipping time, and increase supply chain efficiency. So really good feature to use. Cross-docking. Cluster picking. Cluster picking is a warehouse or fulfillment method in which the picker collects items from multiple orders simultaneously in one pick run, instead of picking one order at a time. Now, generally 4 to 12 orders can be grouped together for best efficiencies. Let's say, for example, if we have 7 orders and all 7 orders has the same product. So we can group that together and the picker can go to the bin where the product is, and in one run, pick and fulfill all the 7 orders together. Now, this will increase efficiency. Since multiple orders are picked simultaneously, it will reduce the time spent traveling between locations and improve overall pick rate. If we look at reduced travel time, by grouping the orders with similar items, pickers can collect items for several orders in one trip, minimizing the need for backwards and forwards across the warehouse. Improve accuracy because I'm in the same bin, so I know what product I'm picking, so increase accuracy. Labor utilization will increase because we are saving time, and it's scalable for higher volume. So very popular in the e-commerce environment, cluster picking, ideal for warehouse handling a high volume of small items, and where the same item have been ordered frequently. So that covers the cluster picking. Let's have a quick look and feel of the product. The Edge solution is designed in HTML5, so it runs on a browser. It says browser independent. You can run it on Firefox, Chrome, Edge. You can run it on your smart devices. It's very user-friendly. It's got an open web API, so you can easily integrate to other systems, and it's got a lot of built-in powerful workflows. Yeah. The Edge solution also has a built-in business intelligence tool. Business intelligence tool provides real-time visibility of warehouse data. Users can easily view important information using charts, graphs, pivots. All these BI tools will empower users with timely, meaningful information that can enable significant process improvements. So you can see an example of dashboard over here. I can see different details. I can see order by different status, and it's got actionable analytics. What that means is that if I'm looking at a particular data, I can drill down and view the transaction that's making that. Having a look at an example of the KPI. So over here, we can see some gauges. Let's say, for example, we've got a KPI that we want to ship the goods from the warehouse within 48 hours. As a warehouse manager, I will have the following gauges. So I can see orders less than 24 hours. There's about 120 of them. So, okay, I've got time. But this one, maybe I need my attention. Orders that are 24 to 36 hours, right? So there's about 50 of them. But in red, I've already got orders that are more than 36 hours. So if I don't action this now, I will not meet my KPI. Now, what I can do is drill down and I'll be able to go straight away on the 22 orders and start actioning that. This is just one example. We can create whichever dashboard you want. Over here, we've got a default one where delivery in full and on time, so you can easily see and track that. So this week, we have delivered 99% of our orders on time in full. Now you can drill down again and see which ones we haven't met. Other information over we can see is orders picked this week, orders picked this month. Let's look at how we're doing between picking and receiving by month. So over here, we can see in November, there was a peak of receiving and picking. So it was a busy month over here. So you can easily see that. But you can also keep track of your warehouse utilization as how full my warehouse is. So over here, I can see it's around 75%. The warehouse is full. And so you can easily get those sort of information. We also got customers that have a television screen in their warehouse, and they display important information using marquees. So it automatically rotates the important data that the customers need to look at. There is two interfaces. One is where the application is mostly used by warehouse managers and supervisors, and you look at the list of orders and your item details, your purchase orders, and the other is a handheld. So this is the interface for the application. This is the order screen where we can see the number of orders, number of lines, number of units, and the full volume required. Now this is all hyperlinked. So if I want to go to the customer, I can click on it. If I was showing the order number, I can click on that. There are about 300 data points that the user can select to view what they want. And in this example, I'm able to see like about 9 of them. But if I wanted to see with the customer number, the customer name, I can easily add that. And that will only apply for my user. So you can easily configure the screens based on the user's requirement. And it's very intuitive, very easy to navigate and use. If we look at handheld, this is an example of a handheld. We call it scanners as well. This is how the screen will appear in the handheld. Now we've got two views. One is a list view over here, and you can see receiving, picking, or you can have an icon view as well. And both support touch screen. So very, again, user friendly on the handheld as well. Nothing to be installed in the network on the handheld. It's all browser based. Another important aspect for using WMS is the integration to the ERP systems. Now, the beauty about Körber is they've got out-of-the-box, seamless, proven integration to lots of leading ERP like SAP B1, Microsoft BC, NetSuite, Acumatica, and Sage. If we look at typically ERP system, manages the inventory, you create the item, the stock, you manage the pricing, so create the purchase order in the ERP system, you maintain the sales order in the ERP system, and you do the manufacturing in the ERP system. Now, WMS takes the inventory to the next level, and it keeps more detail about the inventory. For example, let's just say we've got 100 bottles of red wine Shiraz. ERP will typically say I've got 100 bottles of Shiraz. Now the WMS can record additional information about it, the weight, the dimension, the serial number, if products are serial numbered, expiry dates. Also, what it can keep is the different pack sizes. Now the 100 bottle of Shiraz may be kept in cases, and each case will have 6 bottles. So it can tell me the different unit of measure or the pack sizes I have, but also where in the warehouse. Now 100 bottles may not be kept in one location. Some 10 cases may be kept at the bulk location. Another 2 cases could be kept in one bin or one location, and another individual 28 of them could be kept in another location. So WMS helps you to manage the inventory at that detail level. Obviously, every time inventory is moved, you are able to track that. If we look at receiving, you're receiving using RF guns, you can have all sort of receiving. You've got system guided put away, so you are able to receive the goods and put it away. With the picking, you've got allocation, waiving, and then we pick, pack, and ship the goods. And with the manufacturing module, you do the raw material assurance against the work order, and you do the finished good receiving against the purchase, against the work order, getting the goods back in the warehouse. So we track the raw materials going out and finished good coming in for manufacturing. In the middle, we've got a API level integration. It's a real-time integration. Let's look at a bit of a details of the integration. Now, when I create a new item or any item that I create in the ERP, it automatically flows down to the WMS in a few seconds. So master files comes down, any stock adjustment, stock take adjustment goes up into the ERP. With purchase order, the PO comes down, we receive the goods against the PO, and we send back the PO receipt, or GRN, as some system calls it. Now, if you look at a manual warehouse, we would have received the purchase order. We have to take the paperwork, give it to the back office. Somebody punches that in. They can make mistakes. It's not 100% always. And there's always a delay in what the inventory is in the warehouse and what the ERP is saying. By using a WMS system, as soon as I receive the last item, it straight away creates a PO receipt in the ERP, taking the double entry out and straight away updating my inventory values in the ERP system, which could be quite useful for a CRM system who wants to check the inventory level, or your e-commerce system. So inventory is always accurate between the physical inventory in the warehouse to WMS and the ERP. Similar thing applies for sales orders. Sales order comes down, we pick, pack, and ship the goods, and the delivery note, or as some ERP calls shipment, gets automatically created in the ERP system in a few seconds. Again, as soon as we pick the last item, we can send the delivery note back into the ERP, eliminating any double entry over there. With the manufacturing, the stock, as we issue the goods to the manufacturing area, the stock gets updated in the manufacturing system. And when the finished goods moves back, it updates the ERP that the finished good is in the can be updated now. So as you can see, irrespective of the ERP, the workflow is same. Also, we have done custom integration to many other ERPs. An example is, for example, Pronto. So if this is not one of your ERPs, you can still use the Warehouse Edge solution, as we can do custom integration. We've got many customers using this solution, as Adaya mentioned. I'm just going to highlight 2 of them. One is Beacon Lighting. So they've got about 118 stores. They've got 2 DCs, one in Sydney, one is Melbourne, and one in Brisbane. In total, they've got 60 users across the 2 locations. In Melbourne, they've been using it for more than 15 years. And they had a project about a few years ago where they were moving from 3PL to their own DC in Brisbane. They had a new distribution center, and they had a very tight time frame of 3 months. And obviously, their requirement was accuracy and efficiency was key. We implemented this project in 3 months. We implemented the latest solution of the Warehouse Edge. We achieved the warehouse inventory management accuracy and efficiency. We streamlined the receiving process. Efficient use of warehouse space was implemented, fast picking processes. And we also did a lot of KPIs for them using the dashboard, business intelligence solution I talked about. Lots of KPIs and dashboard where it gives them real-time visibility of their important warehouse data. And this is the positive feedback they have given us. I'll just leave it a few seconds to people to read that. Moving on, the next customer I want to talk about, the success story, is Oriental Merchant. Oriental Merchant is major suppliers for Asian goods to the Coles and Woolworths and other Asian stores. So if you go to Coles and you go to Asian aisles and you see the noodles and the IBC sauce, most of them are supplied by Oriental Merchant. They've got 7 warehouses across Australia. They've got warehouses in New Zealand and Canada as well, all using from one WMS instance running from Melbourne. They've got 100 concurrent user licenses and then they're using it for over 12 years. Some of their challenges before implementation was they were changing from a paper base, so they were moving in a computer base. They had a high volume of orders, complex processes, and they wanted a system that can be easily manage all these challenges. The sheer volume and the quantity of the stock. I mean, they are in food industry, so expiry date and batch management was important. Inventory accuracy was very important, and they also wanted EDI. We implemented the Edge solution over there, and that gave them significant improvement in order processing and inventory accuracy. They like the simple user interfaces that the handheld has. Oriental has high volume of orders, and also some of the orders have like 1,000 lines. So they needed a system to, they heavily rely on the WMS system to manage the fulfillment process and quickly and efficiently pick the orders, right? So, and Edge is able to do that. And also we able to did some EDI for them, which is basically creating the ISN and the POA right away from the WMS system. So again, a very happy customer. And this is what the feedback they have given us. So I will pass it to Adaya now for next steps.
Thank you, Pranesh, and thank you, Darren. And look, there's a lot of information that the team has given you there. And one of the difficulties of webinars like this is try to make it relevant to a lot of organizations. So we hope that you were able to apply that information and I guess the ideas, the benefits to your organization. But with regards to next steps, that's what we would like to do for your organization. So look, please feel free to reach out to us. Obviously, my details and Pranesh's details are there. At the end of this webinar, we're also going to be asking for some feedback. We're going to send you a feedback form just so, we love to get feedback so we can make webinars like this, more beneficial to you who have spent your time on it. But also, we'll also ask you, would you like us to contact you? Because typically what we do is we do a requirements discovery. We get a better understanding of your particular organization and your WMS and supply chain requirements. We can do a bit of a benefits analysis, give you an understanding of what benefits you would particularly get by implementing a WMS. And of course, we can do demonstrations for you to show you how that would work and give you pricing and things like that. But that would be a typical next step. But otherwise, thank you for your time. Thank you for staying on. We hope that we gave you value, and please give us some feedback very shortly and have a wonderful day. Thank you.